Hey, all you Hackintoshers out there, this is Technoli. Today, the long-awaited video. How to make an Opencore bootloader on a Windows computer. Now guys, it's best if you make this USB bootloader on the computer you're going to hack. So grab yourself an old hard drive or whatever and install Windows 10 on it, okay? Then you're going to download all of these files right here. You're going to download these files in the video description. And the reason I want you to download mine is because I've done a couple of things to some of these files, like SSDT time, that I don't want you guys to have to mess with because it's a real pain in the you-know-what. And then also, I'm giving you the standard text and drivers that you probably are going to always need. Okay, you guys, so first of all, we're going to install Python. So double-click on it. Make sure you put a check mark on this Add Python 3.8 to Path. Go ahead and click Custom Installation. Make sure all of these are checked, okay? And just go ahead and install for all users. This is the defaults that I used and everything worked fine. So we'll get this done. And then we're going to move over to the Get macOS folder that we already have downloaded. This is exciting stuff, guys, because now we're building a bootloader on the actual hardware we're going to be using. So what's cool about Opencore is it takes out a lot of the steps that you have to do in Clover and a lot of guessing. It takes out a lot of that guessing because of your SSDTs and things like that. So this does it for you, which is so awesome. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we have this Gib macOS, and we'll go in, double click in here. I want you to right click and run as administrator on Gib macOS.bat. Say yes. Okay, now here we want to find a Catalina or Mojave or High Sierra, whatever you're trying to install. This is going to download the operating system for you. Go ahead and press R and then enter. Okay, now what we're looking for, guys, is a file that says full install. So I want to download Catalina. This number 5 right here says Catalina 10.15.3. So that's the latest version right now of Catalina. So very simply, I'm going to go down here to the bottom and click on 5 and hit enter. And it says, it looks like you've already downloaded it. Yes, I want to re-download it. All right. It's really fast, and no more searching on the internet for the operating system. So very cool. Okay, so that is done. Go ahead and press return. And now we're going to go out of here, and we're going to go down here to make install.bat. Go ahead and right click and run as administrator. Say yes. All right, now this found my M.2 SSD, but it also found my SanDisk Cruiser. That's what I'm using for my USB flash drive. So we're going to select down here number 2, because that's the number 2 here, SanDisk, and then it says right here COIEUGD. We are going to use this with Opencore instead of Clover. So we're going to put an O, not a 0, an O right there and hit enter. And now it's going to warn you, everything on your USB drive is going to be deleted. So if you've got important stuff on there, you better pull it out. Okay, here we go. So yes. All right. That part is done. Okay. So after you've done the make install.bat, you're going to see this information come up. It's going to say insert your disk, just cancel all this out, okay? Now what we need here is to paste the recovery update package path to extract. All right, so we're going to go over here. Let me show you here. We're going to go back to our Gib macOS folder, double click on that, double click on macOS downloads, double click on public release, double click under here, and then we're going to go up here to home, and we're going to click on it and click copy path. All right, then just right click with your mouse right there, and it will put that path in there so it knows where to find the operating system, and hit enter. Okay, so this will take a little bit of time. This is going to make our USB, our vanilla USB basically, and it'll say right there, this may take some time. So when this is done, we'll come back, okay? Okay, there it is, guys. It is done. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now we can just press enter because we are complete with that. Go out of here. Okay, guys. So now you have got over here, you've got a boot and you've got an EFI partition. So go in here and go under Tools and delete these two files, okay? So let's delete those. And then go back here one. Now in here you don't have any kext, and in here you've got a few drivers, but just go ahead and delete these, okay? Just go ahead and delete those. We're going to go back over here to SSD time folder. I'm going to go ahead and grab these and put them over here for now. All right. Okay, guys, so double click on SSD time, and then we're going to double click on ssdttime.py. Okay? This is a beautiful little program. This is going to create our DSDTs and SSDTs for our particular motherboard. Now we are on the computer we're going to hack, right? We've installed Windows 10. We've got all these programs that we downloaded. We're building this USB stick with the hardware. We're going to do our Hackintosh. So I want you to go ahead and press 4 and hit enter. Okay, it says it was successful. All right, press enter, and then we need to also do number 2, and this is going to take care of our fake EC, which is required. All right, so that's done. Now we are finished with that. Now what I want you to do is go to the results folder in your SSDT time folder right there, and it just created these files. And it created those files from the hardware we're using. Now go ahead and open up another window so we can see our boot EFI folder. Go under OC and then ACPI. This is where these files need to go. So I'm just going to drag and drop these over. Okay, we're done with that. Now remember, you downloaded a folder that said drivers. Okay, so we're going to just copy these and paste them right here. All right, that's my drivers folder on my boot EFI partition. Now go up and go to your kext folder. Something that's really important that if you're used to making a bootloader with Clover is a little different when you're making it on Windows. If you look under the kext, and I'm going to give you the kext here, right? Notice they're in folders underneath here. See, clear down here, that's the actual kext. But they're in folders. So in Windows they have to be in folders. So if you download a different kext, and I'm going to give you that link below to where you can download these, make sure it's in a folder or it won't boot all the way. All right? So go ahead and copy these and put them in your EFI OC kext folder. Okay? Come on, whatever green. Show up. There it is. Okay, So we got everything ready here. All right. Okay, so now we need a config.plist. So let's go over to this folder here, the Opencore folder that we downloaded. Go under Docs, and here is what's called a sample plist. Go ahead and drag that in to our EFI OC folder. All right, let's rename this config.plist. All right, over to our other folder here, our proper tree. Double click, go ahead and right click, run as administrator. And what we have to do now is edit our config.plist. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is click File, Open, go to our EFI folder here, OC, and then config.plist, and click Open. Now go to File and click OC Snapshot. Click on OC right here and click Select Folder. All right, that just made some changes to our config.plist that we need to make sure that all of the drivers and everything are going to boot properly. Now what we need to do is we need to do a patch for our particular motherboard, because this is a RYZEN, right? Go ahead and minimize these. Just click on the minuses, okay, until you see kernel. Now go up here to File, Open, and we want to go over to our desktop and pick the AMD Vanilla Opencore folder. Double click, and then under the folder here 17H, that's our patches. So open it up. It's going to open up a new window here. Now what we want to do is just click next to patch, right click, click copy. Then go down here under kernel, right? Go down here and look for the word patch. Right there it is. So click next to it, right click, remove patch and any children. All right, then go back up to where it said kernel, right click and paste. Now we're done with this. Okay, now what we need to do is we have to make a few little changes to our config.plist. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize all these so you can find these a lot easier. The first place we want to go is platform info. So click the plus sign, and we're going to go down here to where we see system product name. Okay, Mac Pro 5,1. If we don't change this, it won't even boot. Change that for a RYZEN. We want to change it to 7,1 and just hit enter. Okay, now what we want to do is minimize this, and then let's go under miscellaneous, and we want to go down to security. Okay, there's security. Now require signature. We want to change, double click on this and change it to false. Require vault, double click, change it to false. Scan policy, okay, we want to double click and change this to 0. Not O, but 0. All right, now we're getting down to it. Now also under miscellaneous, we want to look for timeout. Right there it is. Let's change this to 10. Okay. All right, let's go back up here and go to UEFI and go down to quirks. Right there it is. And provide console GOP. Let's change this to true so we can see our boot screens. Then we're done with that. We want to go up here and click on NVRAM. And we're going to go down to where we see right here preferred language keyboard. Okay, we got to change this or it's not going to be in English. It'll be in, I don't know what it is, German or something. So we'll change this to 656 E as in Edward, 2 D as in dog, 555 33 A30. So that is 656 E 2 D 555 33 A30. We are done. We just click save and we are ready to boot the computer. Not too bad, was it? Let's go into that BIOS settings and let's get it booted up. Okay, so we're tapping the delete key. Tapping that delete key, tapping that delete key to get in the BIOS. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. So remember, I'm just going to go ahead and show you this. Go ahead and set your defaults. So restore defaults. Say yes. Now, this is pretty much the same for all Gigabyte, MSI, Asus motherboards. You're going to want to have these settings the same as this, okay? So go to PCI subsystem and just go ahead and turn on above 4G memory. Escape, go out of there. ACPI settings, you don't need to worry about. Integrated peripherals, we're going to make sure our LAN controller's on. We're going to make sure we're on AHCI mode. And we're going to make sure that the high definition audio controller is enabled so we can have some sounds. USB configuration, enable both. Hardware monitor, don't worry about it. Overclocking, we're not doing any overclocking right now. Power management setup, don't worry about. Windows OS configuration, go ahead and go under here and let's change it to UEFI mode and make sure that secure boot is disabled. All right, now we can go over here to boot and we can select right here, right there is our SanDisk USB thumb drive that we just built. So I'm going to select that, but I'm still going to press the F11 key to make sure that I'm booting from the correct drive. And we'll hit save and exit, and then arrow down to save changes and reboot. Save, configuration, and reset. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to press F11 because I just want to make sure that I'm booting from my thumb drive. I'm not going to show you through the whole video here of how to install this. You can watch the other video of how to do the actual install, but I want you guys to see that the thumb drive we just made is working perfectly. It's doing a little BIOS reset here, so it's taking a second to come up, and I'm kind of tapping on that F11 key to get to the boot menu. Okay, here we go. All right, so there it is. It's my SanDisk, so hit enter. And then here we want to make sure that we are on the Mac OS base system external and hit enter. And that's it, guys. It's starting to go through all of its processes to get to our first screen. I really hope this helps you out. I want you guys to understand Opencore. It took me a while to figure it out. Got a lot of videos coming out with Opencore because I want everyone to understand it. And by the way, guys, if you have a motherboard you want me to test, you can mail it to me, you can ship it to me, whatever, and I will build a video on that particular motherboard because I can't do them all. You know that. So appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.